Barack Obama as president, and if they reelect Barack Obama and continue to have Harry Reid as the majority leader in the Senate, we will go down this road. There's an easy choice here for people to make. They're going to make it in November, and we'll see what people think about those other two questions. Is it a good idea? Can we afford it? I believe the answer there is going to be clearly no and no. And we need better energy policy and better regulating policy and better tax policy so that people can create opportunities for families again.
Senator, were you surprised or disappointed by any of the Supreme Court justices and their decision?
I think I was surprised that 4 of the judges, led by Anthony Kennedy, were willing to take every line of that law off the books. That was more than I had hoped for. It's what I would like to see happen, what we eventually need to do. And then I thought Justice Roberts' decision that this was a tax was a stretch. The Obama administration itself continued to say and still are saying it's not a tax, it's not a tax, it's not a tax, except when they went to court. Their lawyer said, by the way, it's a tax, and so we can do it as a tax. Even if we can't make people buy a product, we can do this under the taxing power of the federal government. And I was surprised that Justice Roberts reached that conclusion. But I'm not an attorney, and what I am is someone who wants to see us get back to private sector job creation and a health care system that works better. The choice here, Chad and Josh, is not the current system or the president's plan. We can make the current system work a lot better with medical liability reform, buying across state lines, allowing small businesses to join together to get their health care through a bigger group. There are lots of things we can do here, but they don't need to require a government takeover of the health care system, which is what the president's plan does, and we can't afford it, even if it was a good idea. And it's not a good idea. Don't get me wrong on that either.
KZRG News Time is 7:16. On the phone is Senator Roy Blunt this morning here on the KZRG Morning News Watch. A straight-out repeal, if the GOP is able to wrangle enough seats in the Senate and get the presidency, a straight-out repeal, is that the best option? We've heard from listeners that like a few of the provisions in the health care law, one being that the pre-existing condition, those people can now finally get health insurance. Is it a straight-out repeal the best option?
A straight-out repeal of this 2,600-page bill is the best option, and then those things that should be put back into law or enable the states to more easily create those laws, the federal government can do. There are a handful of things here that might be good ideas. It'd be hard to come up with 2,600 pages of legislative nonsense and not have anything in it that had merit. And there are a few meritorious things here, but they can be put back in. I think what my side should pledge, and I believe will pledge, is that there'll be no 2,600-page replacement, that never again in health care will we have a bill, in Nancy Pelosi's famous words, that you have to pass it to see what's in it, that you can look at the bill, you can see if there's a way to handle pre-existing conditions, if there's a way to keep people on their family insurance a little bit longer, if there are ways to do other things. You can look at a bill that's a couple of dozen pages long and say, okay, I can see what we're trying to do there, and yes, let's do that. And that will be the way to replace whatever needs to be replaced to make the system work better.
We're speaking with Senator Roy Blunt this morning on the KZRG Morning News Watch. And, Senator, I know that you've talked about needing more seats in the Senate and talking about Harry Reid and how he's done just a pitiful job, and I feel like everyone in Southwest Missouri would agree with you. And I have to wonder, looking at trying to get more Republicans in those Senate seats, have you aligned yourself behind any of the candidates who are running for to replace Senator Claire McCaskill? Do you think, have you picked one of those candidates that you think are best, one, to lead the challenge against her, and then, secondly, to take that seat and rule in the favor of Southwest Missourians?
Well, I think we have three good candidates, and I intend to get behind the one that wins the primary a month from now in a significant way. It's hard for me to imagine a Republican majority in the Senate that doesn't include the Missouri Senate seat. These candidates are about to finish up the primary part of this process, but I believe any of the three of them will serve well and will be a good opponent and will do what needs to be done to make this work. But Missourians are part of the choice. People in Missouri and Nebraska and North Dakota and Montana and Virginia would be at the top 5 states, I would think, of the list that get to decide whether Harry Reid's the majority leader or Republicans take control of the Senate and put a stop to these foolish regulations that the administration continues to come up with, and most importantly, in the topic of the day, to repeal the president's health care law.
Well, Senator, I know that some people have started to question Senator Claire McCaskill because they've seen a couple of different moves. They've seen her one side on the issue of Obamacare, but in other ways she's kind of cast herself as more in the conservative light. How would you characterize Senator Claire McCaskill?
Senator McCaskill will vote for Harry Reid for majority leader. And that should be enough, I would think, for Missouri voters in November. She voted for the Obama health care plan. Just a few days ago, there was a rule that we were trying to repeal that's going to raise the utility rates for many Missourians, a rule called the Utility MAC rule. I voted to repeal it. She didn't. And so, we have found a number of things in the last year and a half to work together on and agree on. But the big issues are the issues that the American people are going to be focused on in November, and I think they're going to find a conservative candidate in Missouri to be somebody that's going to be more in line with what they want to have happen than Senator McCaskill.
Senator, tell us about the farm bill from Friday.
The farm bill, the transportation bill was Friday. The farm bill was a week ago. So there are two. The transportation bill actually is now on the way to the president's desk and may have been signed by the president already by the time we're talking. But it's it's more than a 2-year extension of highway bills. It was a bill that I was able to vote for. I think it does give states the ability they need to move forward with their road building plans. We cut back on a lot of the things in the highway bill that weren't necessary to maintain our highway system, and maintaining that highway system is critical to families and to commerce and to jobs. And so there's a highway bill that gives us a couple of years now, and hopefully the next highway bill can be even longer. When you pass things like the farm bill or the highway bill, the longer time period that you can commit to, the more likely you're going to see states, and in the case of farm bills, farm families, make good economic decisions because they know what the rules are. Part of the problem in the country right now is that people don't know what the rules are, and as long as President Obama is president, they think any rules that the president has anything to do with are likely to get more difficult, not better, and people are hesitant. Consumers are hesitant. Job creators are hesitant, and the economy is reflecting that. If we had the same number of people looking for work today that we did when Ronald Reagan was president, the unemployment rate would be 11.1%. But people have just given up on this economy, and so even the numbers we look at, the unacceptable 8.2% unemployment number, would really be a lot higher than that if so many people hadn't just given up on the economy. So we need to get to work and create as much certainty as we can so that people can then make the decisions they need to make about hiring people and buying equipment and moving forward.
KZRG News Time, 7:23. Senator Roy Blunt, thank you for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Hey, good to be with you. Look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks for what you guys do every day.
Absolutely. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. KZRG News Time, 7:24.